What is up? What is up? What is up? It is your boy Flash, aka Malachi36 from ALWT Gaming. I am here with the amazing crew from The View, if you know what I mean. Gravity Mark II, up in my corner, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm loving my corner.
Yep.
You know how it is.
Yep. They can't put an X in your circle. You see what I just did there? Tic-tac-toe?
What is this? What is this? Hollywood Squares?
Yep.
Throwback.
I'm going right below you. Is Mildewy Carrot, looking as fluorescent as ever, trimming that beard, keeping it all nice and hefty. What's up, man? How are you? Did he freeze on me? Because he's just really silent right now.
I'm just trying to debate how you even got here, Malachi.
Oh, I got here because of love and happiness. Love and happiness. You feel me?
Can you share? Can you share?
I wish I could.
I need a hug, guys. I need a hug.
I get
COVID won't let me.
I'm right down the street. I'll wear a mask. Get all the coughing out, like right at your door. Be like, all right, got it out of my system. Okay.
I open up the door, spray in the face with some air freshener.
Just some Lysol to the throat.
Like clean it out.
And of course, we have to round out this group with the corner pocket, sharpening the pole. Last ball, don't scratch. It's the 9 ball. Just take it in, guys.
I don't know what he's smoking.
No. Here's the thing. I'm not smoking anything, but I am drinking something. And normally, I'll give you guys my pitch that I'm drinking a Raised Energy drink, which you guys can get at hold on, let me finish. Let him finish. At Rep Sports, REPPSports.com. All you do is just type in ALWT Gaming at checkout, get 50% off. But I'm not going to give you that pitch today. The pitch I'm giving you guys, even though I just gave it to you, the pitch I'm giving you guys is I went ahead and just went to I want Ultra. I got a beer this time. I'm drinking on the job today. All right?
A single beer?
Just a single beer right now.
Just go to the store, just buy one can.
We don't promote this at all, kids. You know, Malachi is breaking a lot of rules, and we'll tattle on him to his wife later.
Jay Flory inside the chat says, "Watch out." I'm gonna behave, man. I'm gonna behave. It's all gonna be good. Okay. But guys, we are here to talk. Don't do that. We got some good news that's coming up. We got a little bit to talk about. We had a week with Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. I wanted to start the conversation there. And I think everyone here has beaten it first, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we are going to talk about New World 2, Jay Flory. Don't you worry, that is our second story. Now,
I really want to talk about this.
I do want to go around this one more time. And I want to give our thoughts about it a week later. But I'm going to start with Gravity Mark because you just recently beat it. So Gravity Mark, and then we're going to go down to Mildewy, It's the 9 ball, and then up to me. So Gravity, where are your thoughts at? Where are you at with this game? What's up?
I think the words I used to describe this game last week were something special, which I would still stick with. I still think that this game is, honestly, I'm going to call it a classic. I'm going to call it a new age classic. This was really fun. Like, I haven't had this much fun in a game in so long, and maybe I just haven't found the games that I've been looking for yet. Maybe these types of games have just been out there and I've just been neglecting them. But no, this was really fun. Like, taking the visuals aside, because the visuals were absolutely spectacular. We already know that. The music in of itself was just amazing. Like, it was beautiful. But playing this game was really, really fun. And playing this game on the extreme mode was also very, very fun. Because I honestly think it extended the shelf life of the game for me. Because I think that I'm the last out of the group to have beaten it. But I was able to get so much out of the game just by tweaking up the difficulty of it. Where like I might have a boss that I think a lot of you like took like an hour to beat. I ended up taking like 2 hours to beat it. Am I happy about that? Not really, but I feel a lot more. I feel like I actually earned something afterwards. It's fun. I mean, I've already sent you like some pictures that I took, like what, like using the picture mode. Like the picture mode's really cool. Um, like I could just keep gushing about this. This game is really really fun. And now that I'm done with it, I'm kind of sad that I'm done with it. But now I'm also really looking forward to whatever Ember Labs has cooking up in the pipe works, like coming up next.
I agree. And real fast before we go over the Mildewy Care, I do want to throw out there for anyone that is unfamiliar with it, Ken and Bridge of Spirits is an indie game. It looks like a Pixar film, but it's an indie game. And it was actually at this PlayStation Showcase last year. Came out last week. It's on PC and PlayStation 5 and 4. And you guys could definitely enjoy it. It's like $30 for the base game, $40 or something like that for the full.
40 for
Is
40 for the base,
yeah.
and then it's 40 for the base, and then it's 50 for the for like the Ultimate
deluxe,
Edition or
deluxe
whatever.
version.
Yeah, like I mean, honestly, like all you get with the deluxe is like a skin for your staff, like a skin for one of your rots, and then the soundtrack. I think.
You get,
That's all you get. So
you get a skin for the rod, staff, soundtrack, and if you pre-ordered, you get another hat for the rods. So the birthday cake.
Oh, was that the
premium.
birthday cake hat? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the rot store, like it just has like the little party. The little,
Yeah, those
whatever,
were because
the-
I think if you pre-ordered. Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Yep.
So like I mean honestly like just depends on like what your preference is. Like if you want the soundtrack, which is really good, go ahead and go for the Ultimate Edition. But like just like the base edition, it would be perfectly fine just for any average player. Plus like it's a really low entry point for this game, and it's really solid. It is very solid. Like if somebody plays this game and doesn't have a good time, like I want to meet this person. I just want to understand like. They're just like it just no. I just didn't vibe with it. It just wasn't anything there.
Gotcha. Mildewy Carrot.
I loved it. It was a fantastic game. Story-wise, I really enjoyed it. Had some very unique concepts to it too. That I think kind of can apply to kind of feels like almost to modern day concepts now too, with some of the stuff they spoke on. Very in depth with overuse of the land, of taxing it and all. Not like you're overusing. Like what happens when you don't have any more of a non-renewable resource, or one that doesn't renew as fast as it's consumed. Very interesting to see the story and development through there. The ending of the game, I didn't have too much of a problem with, and I think it leaves it open to possibility of what I was thinking of is kind of like what Monster Hunter does, is where they do a mass expansion DLC, to where they have another game that comes out that's expansion on just the current game that's out, or a secondary game, because there's some aspects of the game that didn't really get answered fully in this. One of them being Kenna, like what happened to her arm? She's got almost like a spirit essence inside of her arm, and like one of the aspects when you're fighting Toshi is you got knocked into a vision where she was inside the spirit world, kind of looking for her dad holding his staff. So it's like, what happened to kind of come about this? So I feel like that's an aspect that we could possibly come into seeing as like a DLC or as a secondary game. So I feel like there's more that can come for this. But all in all, just this game itself, I feel like was well written, well done, and well played through. So for an indie game, perfect. Well done, Ember Labs. Very well done.
9Ball.
I mean, personally, I still really enjoyed the game. I do have some qualms about it. Personally, I mean, I love the graphics. I feel like, while I like the story, I feel like they need to expand on it. I mean, either in movie form or game form. Even though I heard that they're not really, I don't know if they're really planning on expanding on it or anything. From what I heard from Ember, but I thought, and I like some of the gameplay aspects, and why I like some of the gameplay aspects, some of the bosses didn't vibe with me like some of the other ones. for me personally, I love some of the bosses, but like the corrupt woodsmith, I love the corrupt woodsmith as a boss battle. I love to actually corrupt Toshio. I thought he was an excellent boss battle. Some of them I didn't like. The last boss battle I did really like, and it wasn't challenging in some ways for me. I thought it was just more infuriating.
Which one, Toshi or the corrupted spirit?
The corrupt wood god, the corrupted
the dragon with the the rots.
Yeah.
That one, as soon as you got past the guardian, it was very bland. Like it was easy to get through.
The second platforming part, because that was one of my biggest qualms, was when they did it the second time and they put you on a platforming section. There really wasn't no penalty. It really was just kind of there.
Yeah,
I'll agree with that.
And I'm like, this section you don't need in this boss battle because it doesn't do nothing to really expand anything or take it away. It just exists.
Yeah, like it didn't really like it didn't even have like any flowers in there to like heal you up. So like there wasn't any. It's like I fell off at one point during it, and I was I'm starting over. I was like, oh no, they just started me at the beginning.
Yeah, they just reset your position. Yeah, there's no penalty, no nothing. There's no enemies. You can't die there. It's just
and then you get all of your rots back at the end of it, which is like, and like I said, as soon as you dodge that final shot point from the spirit beast at the beginning of it, then it's pretty straightforward to beat them. Like it was very anticlimactic. I will agree with the battle, but I still think the story itself was very well written.
Yeah,
at that point. But I will agree that
it was one of my biggest qualms with that. I really didn't like that boss because of that. I had I would say a couple problems. I did have a little bit of a freeze when he Michael Bay'd the screen. You know, when the rock guy starts dropping all those explosives everywhere.
Yeah, after you get the second part. Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. So I don't think I ever showed you guys the footage that I captured of one of the glitches that I had, which was it was during the second part.
We were stuck in slow-mo.
No, so I wasn't.
I got that one too, because I went for a dodge and it hit me.
Yeah, so I was fighting like a sub boss, and like right as soon as I hit the sub boss to finish it, one of the little minions like hit me and killed me at the same time. So like it like showed the kill animation, but then it showed like the revive screen, and then it like showed the rest of the death scene, and then I was like POV like from the Rot's perspective. I was like
That's
really
weird.
low to the ground. I was in first perspective, I was in like first person.
Crap, you got the rare break.
Yeah, like I was like, oh. And the thing is I was like with the way that it was functioning, I'm like, it could actually really work in first person too. Like if they really wanted to, like it actually worked pretty well. Except for a couple times where like because of like the way that I was like stuck position wise, like sometimes I could fire an arrow and sometimes it would just like hit nothing in front of me, and it just wouldn't do anything. But I got I think like a couple minutes of footage out of it, but like the boss like reset and was still there.
Yeah.
And so I ended up having to like jump off of a cliff to like reset. I came back and thankfully everything was fine. But it's just another one of those. Honestly, like there were kind of like a good chunk of like little mini glitches here and there, like nothing game breaking by any means, but like in my opinion it was enough to be charming. Where there was another part of the map where there was like a pit that you were supposed to fall into, and I was able to get to an angle where I was able to take a photo of like what part of it looked like on one side where there was water, and then there was a pit and there was just no assets underneath it. I'm just like, you didn't put anything there. Like you could have put something there. You just put nothing there.
I know.
Oh.
Well, I know all right. So for me, I actually had a couple. I have a few. Well, first, I'm going to tell you my opinion. My hope that it would switch from an 8 for me on over to a 10 didn't happen, and that is mainly because honestly, the story really wasn't anything expansive. Like I feel like it needed to have more to it in order for it to be good storytelling. It just wasn't there for me, and especially the way it was presented. at the PlayStation 5 event, you're expecting this thing to have a really strong narrative. I have no idea, like Mildew and Carrie said, I have no idea who Kenna is. I don't know what her backstory is. I saw that little like lead up to that point, but it was like so short and kind of forced in there so that way you can see that she's struggling and what her true goal is. But at the end of the day, I didn't really. The story wasn't enough to make me be like, "Oh my goodness, that was the best story ever." That was like the next level. That it just wasn't there. I don't. To be honest with you, games like this, they don't normally do any DLC or expansions on. If anything, this is more of Ember Lab's project game, just to see how many new audiences and stuff like that they can get. They got my attention for sure because this was definitely a great game, but it's great because of the gameplay and the visuals of it. It wasn't really great because of the story. I will also agree with Nineball that there are a few bosses I didn't care for. Most of them I did. I loved fighting Tato. He was awesome. Even though I died to him a couple times at first, I did enjoy like his
I got
whole
some
aesthetic
feels
about
after
him.
that too with the animation for him. I got some feels for that.
Yeah, like they did a good job with that. I liked fighting a deer, but I hated fighting a deer because she was one that was really challenging for me. And I was just talking to Gravity off stream about this. I had that video game moment to where it was literally a hit for me and a hit for her. And it was who's going to get it first. And I came out on top and I killed her. And I was like, let's effing go. All day. Like, that felt good. But it was very frustrating how many times I had to do it. But I was able to get that done. The boss I did not like. Not because they were really that difficult. I did have a few times to go against them. But the boss I just didn't like in general was the one that was flying with the bow and arrow.
I actually had a problem. It felt more cheap because I hated having to deal with her in the air all the time.
Yeah. And I found ways to do it, and I was able to find a mechanic to get it, to beat him and everything like that. It's just, I mean, and I appreciate the fact that, because even though I don't like it, someone else might love it. And that's just something that I like, that they have the different variety of bosses. It's not just a copy and paste type scenario. Mm-hmm. They switched everything up, which was really cool.
Yep.
I will also say my glitches I did have. I had one that I don't think Ember Labs was expecting me to live glitch, and I lived. And then two, I had one which is actually this kind of the same in the one. So there's one area where you go up and the corruptions close you out, and you have to fight a lot of different corruptions, and then there's different types of corruptions that are invisible, so you have to like dash through them. And to make them visible again, so you can start hitting them and everything like that. By the way, the cards came very handy with that. But anyway, so when I ended up killing them,
trial and error.
The first time when I got hit by them, but I got hit by them, I was getting knocked off to where I was falling to my death. But as I was falling, I pulled out the bow and arrow and I hit a flower and I came back to life. And I was going to go back up there to go fight them, but it was still blocked off because it was expecting me to still be in there. It was expecting me to be out. So that's the thing that I think Ember Labs was like, I think he was supposed to die there, but since he caught on that flower and just did some James Bond stuff, yeah, he's just going to have to leave and come back. And that's what I ended up having to do. And then
sounds like it didn't recognize an area out, because I've had several times where I've been knocked in an area out, and it resets the whole fight sequence.
Well,
so
it
may not
do
have
that.
recognized it as being an area out, because like you said, they probably didn't recognize it as something that they could actually probably survive there.
Yeah. And so, it was literally quick thinking. It was quick thinking, and it was awesome. I was like, let me pull this off. I only got one arrow. Well, I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I didn't think it was going to do that. So then that's why I came around. But yeah, that was good. And then and in that same fight, so after that, I went ahead and started fighting them again, started from square one, knocked them all out, killed them all, and I did something at the very last one to where I was stuck like this. Like I was moving around and everything like that. The only way for me to get out of this is if I had, I couldn't, I can't remember what my L1 does, but I know one of them, I think it pulses. I think that's what it is. I think it does the pulse. And instead of me being able to do the pulse to see if there's anything around me, anytime I get ready to pulse, it would just get stuck like this. And then in order for me to get out of it, I would have to hit, I think it was R1 in order to dash. And that's how it was. So it was like there was a glitch there to where it kept on anticipating me blocking or doing the pulse, and then it was just really weird. but that was something to where I just teleported out, came back in, everything was cool. Toshi was I did like the final boss, how he operated. Toshi the first time was he was tough for me. The dragon, the big corrupted was not tough. The first stage of the minions, they weren't tough. The second stage, that got tough for me because I would fight the big golem, which I had no problem with before. No problem with before.
Same here, and it was just weird.
Yeah, and
well,
I would.
You could use your rod abilities, yeah, but trying to fight him without it.
Well, I think the very first time you fight him, you do fight him without
practice. I was gonna say like
you do.
I already knew how to. I basically fought him the first time without.
Yeah, but I was about to say you had
the first time when you're at Rusu's hut, and you've got the bow abilities.
You at least have the bow.
Are you sure? Because I don't think I have
the rod. You got the rod hammer because the guardian doesn't appear until Rusu's hut, which is where you get the bow. Now you don't, unless you've got the karma saved. I don't think you'll get the bow rod shot right away unless you saved your karma up. But you should have the rod pummel.
I think I had to. That one, I think the game was like teaching me to hit the weak points of it, and I hit the weak point of it the first time, which was in the face. Because I remember the very first time I fought that guy, I didn't use any rod abilities, but I did remember I hit him in the face, did a lot of damage, went up to did my thing, and then the other two was like on the back of his arm and on his back, and I'm trying to get around him, and even when he's like doing stuff that will expose it, I'm trying to hit it, and I'm not freaking hitting it, so I'm doing very, very, very little bit of damage to him.
I just used a bunch of explosives.
I did that, and he's just eating them up. And I was just
was you detonating them? Or
I was detonating them.
Detonate?
I did both. I did everything imaginable.
What upgrades did you have? Like I had double.
Everything was almost maxed out. Almost everything was maxed out. Too. So I did dash. I promise you guys everything. I tried everything, and I just could not do any damage to this guy. And I know that the main damage dealers were on the back of him. And it was just like that was so frustrating because it's like this guy is not that hard, but because he won't turn around, it's just so. And I don't have my rod abilities. It's just so hard right now.
For me, it was just time consuming. He really wasn't doing that much damage because most of his stuff is easy to parry.
Parry or dodge. Like when he does that lunge, like you can usually just jump and just hold the dodge animation. You know, your secondary jump and then hold like an archer shot, and he still's moving. And it's enough for him just to go underneath you. He misses, then you just pop him a couple times. So that's pretty much what you have to do. Is just you have to play with him.
Yeah, but again, I did that. But then he hits you one time, you're near death. The second time he hits you, you're gone. And there's nothing you can pull from. There's no flowers you can pull from. So it's just like it was just stuff like that was just getting a little frustrating.
How many meditating points did you find?
All of them.
Meditating.
Meditation.
Yeah, like for the health and everything like that.
Yeah.
I did them after every boss fight.
You know they had other ones.
Did you find all the extras?
I didn't bother.
That's
why. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Because I was finding hit ones while I was running around.
Well, I still beat the game, so we're good.
Saying I was on master mode over here. No, look at this. I couldn't have done what I did.
He's
if
on
I didn't
Spirit Guide playing master mode is what Malachi's doing. He's like, who needs meditation points? You don't need that.
This.
No, I literally just wanted to play. I didn't want to do like. Even though the world was beautiful, I wanted to make sure I had the game beat, so that way we can talk about it today a little bit, just to see where we're at.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so yeah.
Can I?
go ahead.
About that. Well, I was just going to ask the question. Can I find out what people's scores are at between a thing of 1 through 10 now, since they've beaten it?
Oh, mine stayed the same. Mine's still at 8.
I'd have to say mine's gonna stay at an 8. And I only say that just because, like, if I have to look at the game, like critically, like the story could have been so much more fleshed out. Like we've seen games where the stories are absolutely spectacularly fleshed out, and like this one just wasn't really there. I think it was good enough, but I don't think it was like as good as it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
The game mechanics were absolutely great, but like there were still plenty of glitches that we all experienced, and so like it's not perfect. But I think considering that it's Ember Lab's first game ever, and it came out as well as it did, I definitely think it deserves at least an 8. I definitely think that it's good enough to be something special, but like it's not perfect. But I also think it's a great first step in whatever they're going to be doing.
Heard that.
For me, I'm gonna go an 8.5. I was gonna go with an 8 at first, but for their first game, I had virtually, even though I had glitches, most games have glitches. It was nothing really game breaking. Like nothing that completely CTD'd or anything, kicked me out to desktop or anything like that. Everything, it was glitches here and there. It wasn't bad. Some of the boss fights, sure, I didn't like the part with the samurai.
Oh, I love that fight.
I sort of liked it, but I hate it when he would put you in a little dome thing and circling where you got enemies running at you. Because mine, for some reason, was
okay, the mage.
Put up the laser wall.
Yeah. You're talking about the mage.
Shoot a couple of arrows and just pop him. Like you get one shot on him and he's popped.
Yeah, but the problem is I got 3 to 4 little guys attacking me at the exact same time.
That's the weird part. That's the weird part because that didn't happen to me until the very last hit when I killed him.
Yeah.
So maybe I was killing them too quickly. I don't know, but I do know that I know exactly what you're talking about. But I didn't when I got stuck in the pillar. I didn't actually have any minions come in until my very last round.
Yeah. One time I was able to get rid of the minions. It was easy to just figure that out.
Yeah.
You were gonna say mildew carrot there.
But I understand what you're saying about the story. I do believe the same thing. I feel like it could be fleshed out more. And I think that world should be. I mean, to be honest, when I was thinking about it in retrospect, this would be something that you could either bring out another game, or if you want to, you have to. You can basically do a movie or something that would start at the prequel that would explain what happened. Because to be honest, the way it looks, I mean, you could have it's easily. I bet you easy. DreamWorks or Disney is probably looking at this right now.
100%. 100%. Guaranteed.
Wait, did you guys end up watching the Majora's Mask short that they did years ago? Like that was like the first thing that I saw from them, like when they originally released it, and I think I don't know if I think it might have been like a year or so, maybe a couple years after like the remake for the 3DS came out for Majora's Mask. So I was like really into it. And I was really like loving Majora's Mask at the time, and if you look at that, like, please do yourself a favor. Like, watch their short for Majora's Mask. It's absolutely just like it's more gorgeous than Kenna was. It's so good. The direction for it, the sound design is amazing for it. But there was 2 more things I want to throw in there really quick about Kenna.
All right.
One is that this is the first game that I have seen in honestly like ever since I started to actually pay attention and look for a console game to actually give you a section in the menu to remap your controller.
Yeah, you can remap. Yeah, that's cool.
There's so
I
many
didn't even think about
games.
that for y'all because most of the time on PC it's like it's almost normal to have that.
Yeah. That's and if you're on PC, like it's just there. Like you just assume it's there because it always is. But for console, it's like it's never there. And there's some games where you're like, no, I want to remap my buttons a little bit. Like I don't want presets. I want to configure it something that actually works for me. And I'm like, you know what? This is the first game, especially for PlayStation 5, that I've seen that allows you to remap your controller like entirely. And I value that so much in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it makes a big difference when you can do that.
Maybe I just play a lot of MMORPGs on the console because I was about to say I've noticed that a lot on PlayStation. But again, when I think about all the times I have had it, it is MMORPGs. It's not games like Kenna. So.
One other thing that I wanted to ask all of you guys: did any of you get the 1,000 gem hat? Because I did on accident.
Real quick. Mildew. What rating did you want to give this? Did you want to keep it at a 9? Did you want to make it a 10? Did you want to drop it to a 1? Where are you at?
I'm gonna keep it at a 9. Y'all are a bunch of haters going down 8.
Oh,
What?
much.
We don't
So,
hate the game.
I mean, I
It's
understand
hard.
that you could definitely have fleshed it out more, but I'm still looking at this as it's their first game. It's their first time doing this. I'm not going to hold it against them for not having a full, in-depth written story out there. If they're going to do that, this game is going to be a much longer game, a much bigger project, and it would have gone on longer, would not have released now when it did. So I'm definitely going to give them benefit of the doubt for a first game and saying they did a very good job. Now, there's a lot they can take away from this and learning aspect, like you guys have stated. Definitely more in-depth story with Kenna, like how she got there and all. Definitely more, probably more interactions and more reading into each of the boss characters. Maybe more variety, more conflict with some of the other villains. Maybe they go away and come back because of something that you did in there. There are definitely many things they can take and learn from this. I did see an article where were talking to Ember Lab co-founders Mike and Oskir about the game, and they definitely were stating that they're looking at possibilities of extra stuff that can be given into Kenna. So there's a possibility we may see some DLC content in there because there is a capability of it.
Oh yeah,
But they didn't confirm anything yet or confirm that it is a definite that they're doing, but something that they're looking into, which I hope they do. I really hope that they give us, kind of like I said, a DLC, maybe kind of like Monster Hunter does, where it's like we had like Monster Hunter Rise, but now we have Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak coming up. Then we have Monster Hunter World, then we have Monster Hunter World Iceborne. So maybe they'll do something like that to where they do like an extra thing to give us that backstory. It doesn't have to be a full point of the game either. It could be just that one extra area that explains that beginning point, and I'm pretty sure we'll all be happy with that. So, but all in all, I am still going to give it a 9. Wonderful graphics, even if you've got those little glitches there. A lot of those glitches I feel like came across with just random moments of like, holy shit, we didn't expect to do that. Like, oops, I think we broke it.
Yeah.
So yes, is it possible that maybe there needs to be a patch put in for that? Sure, but it's something I think that Ember Labs would look at goes, wait, they did what? Because I don't even think they were expecting for us to get those perfect timings to get those death sequences or slow mos or like Malachi falling out of a ring that he should not have. He should just die, but no, he's got a James Bond, Horizon Aloy, Laura Croft his way out of like poing, over there, Mister. I'm gonna archer my shit. So there's some.
I don't want to die.
But it's something I'm not going to really hurt their scoring on because, like I said, a first time game for them, and it's only got this minimal amount of damage, this minimal amount of missing story content.
Oh, it's better than most AAA games now, to be honest.
My point exactly. So 9 out of 10 Ember Labs, well done, and keep going. Really, please keep going.
Yeah,
you've definitely started, and you've got my attention. So I want to see more. So show me what you got. Bring it. Show the rest of the world how to make a game.
And Gravity, you said that there's a 1,000 diamond hat thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep, it's the unicorn hat. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So Richard, Mildewy, did you know?
I won't that.
Did you know about? Did you know where the unicorn hat was? Did you know what you were getting into when you were starting that little side mission?
So I didn't know exactly what I was getting because they don't tell you. So a lot of those hats are surprises. A lot of them are. And I found, to be honest, when I got that hat, though, I was like, oh my god, this is adorable. I equipped it. And it's even funnier. It's when you equip that hat to one of the rots and you go out in the world and you do your abilities and all. If that rot with the hat and with the unicorn hat is on and it's flying around or going with you, there is a little rainbow trail following the thing. It's like sparkle rainbow trail. It's adorable. It's all out. It's hilarious. And I loved it. I loved it. I was so happy I found it and I got it. I was like, yay.
It was super cute. And I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was going for. I think it was you have to deliver some spirit mail. And
it was a spirit mail, and then you had 3 chests.
I know which one you're talking about because I did 2 of them. I only got the 3rd one left.
Yeah, the 3rd one, I definitely
really
did
hard.
towards. It's really hard. I'd say
really
definitely
hard.
once you get Spirit Dash, then you can do it.
I did it without Spirit Dash. It was
Look at you there.
I got it before I got Spirit Dash, and I was just throwing I spent hours trying to do this. Like I was like, okay, Gus, okay, I'm gonna start with the guy on the left, then I'm gonna turn around and get the guy on the left, and then I'm gonna get the guy on the right. Next, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna throw a bomb at the guy on the right, and then I'm gonna turn all the way around 180, and I'm gonna dash at that guy. Except I don't have dash, but like it was so frustrating and it was so irritating. And then they were just like, ta-da! It's a hat. I was like, I did this. I spent hours of my time just trying to see what was in this big box, and it was a hat. And I was like, oh, it's the big special hat. I was really happy that I got it, but at the same time I was like, I did all of that for a hat.
Yeah,
just for a hat.
Yeah, majority of the collectibles on here I didn't even bother going for, to be honest with you. Yeah,
I've actually only got 3 trophies left, which is I have to get a it's called, I think, triple threat, which is where you get triple tap. You get 3 enemies killed with 1 spirit dash. Beat the game on Master Quest, and then I get platinum. So I'm already on Adira in the Master Spirit Guide run. I am taking a bit of a break from it though, just because I have burned myself out on it. That was my fault. So I'm going to take a step back, and then I just have to get that triple tap, and then I've got a platinum. So
that's nice.
I'm definitely going to be going for it here soon for that. So I just, like I said, just got to be her. Toshi, I am not looking forward to in this fight, but I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be going to need to be on point with my blocks and dodges. That's all I got to say.
So for anyone that's sticking around towards the end of the show, we actually have a segment that I want to try to keep up to date on, which is called Backlog Nightmare. On a monthly basis, we're going to kind of talk about the games that's on our backlogs across all platforms. I'm going to give you guys my list at the end. It's actually not as bad as I was thinking it may be. So
That's as bad as we're all thinking it's going to be.
Yeah. I'm not now. Granted, are these all the games that I currently own? No, but these are the games that I do like. I'll be at peace beating. So that's what we're going to be having towards the end of it. But for now, we're going to go on over to story number 2. For some of you guys have been waiting for this inside the chat. New World. So new day, new world. Cameron Koch from GameSpot says, New World Amazon Game Studios' long-delayed MMO is finally live and has quickly become the number 2 game on Steam with more than 600,000 concurrent players and counting. Unfortunately, that also means server issues and long login queues for many players looking to dive in. Most of the game's North American and European servers are currently in, quote, high population counts, with a still at medium population. Amazon says it is looking into the problem and wants to. Amazon says it's still looking into the problem and wants to get everyone into the game. Another update on September 28th also mentioned that more servers will come online in order to expand the capacity of the game, and that the quote sole focus for the team is to make sure players can log in quickly. They did go ahead and put out a tweet on here saying, "Thank you everyone." This is New World, by the way. Thank you everyone for the tremendous launch day support. We are aware of the login queues and server issues. The team is working hard to get them addressed and get everyone in playing. Thank you for your patience and tweet. So we talked a little bit about this off stream.
A little.
Yeah, we talked a bit about this off stream a bit, and yeah, like it's very interesting to see what's going on here. Again, we know that Amazon is a big.
It's just disturbing.
We know that Amazon is a big corporation. They have a lot of other organizations and businesses under them that are well known. It's not like small businesses or anything like that, and they support those. So it is very odd to see this choice to where it's not going as planned. Does anyone want to have any comment on this right now? I know none of us, first and foremost, anyone that's listening on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, or Twitch, none of us currently have the game right now. So we don't have any room to talk as far as the gameplay goes or anything like that. But this is the story that's been presented to us from GameSpot concerning the game itself, the login queue. Nineball, go ahead.
Real quick.
Or if you're playing from Oregon, just don't play. I'm looking at the average wait time. It says 198 hours.
Lovely.
So yeah, are you on that site that I sent out, Nine
Yes,
Ball? So
yes.
I put in in our chat. You guys can see this.
198 hours.
There's a New World Status site called newworldstatus.com if anyone wants to check it out, where they'll show the current times and logins and all. Most of these sites are at players 2,000, not increasing at all in terms of number of players in it. Only an in-queue wait time increase and average wait time increase. Like, it is ridiculous. And then, of course, if I'm looking at these queues and I scroll down, there are 50 servers that are offline, which might be this new update that you're talking about. But that's 50 servers offline. But if you're only offering 2,000 players per each of those servers, that's barely anything.
That's 100,000 servers for their 600,000 players. Like, that's 100,000 spots for their 600,000 players.
Yeah, it's like that. That really does not feel right. I'm pretty sure I don't play MMOs, as you guys know. I barely play them. Like, you guys play more with the Final Fantasy 14 and WoW, but I'm pretty sure there are more than just 100,000 players logged in currently into each of those.
200,000 people, 271,000 people in queue.
No,
total.
Was this an underestimate by Amazon? Like, do you think they
No,
went into this like knowing that they were they didn't have enough servers, or do you think that like they were like, yeah, we know, we're just gonna deal with it later?
They fumbled.
It's an unforced error. Ultimately, it's an unforced error because I mean, again, as these two gentlemen down below had said numerous amounts of time, Amazon has a lot of money. If you have to pay to get more servers, you can pay to get more servers. All right.
I don't know what their calculations were for first day launch.
Yeah,
I don't know. But if they've got the capacity for that, what I would have said they should have done is probably gone for like at least 1 million players.
2,000 people per server.
Like max capacity of over 1 million people for the servers that you have, and see what that does. Because it's Amazon. They've got the space. Their AWS system is like being used by other companies for server and cloud space.
Isn't it being used by Google?
It's being used by a lot, like Netflix I think uses it.
Disney.
There's a lot.
I know
use
Twitch.
This. I'm
Twitch
like,
as well. They
I'm
own
like,
Twitch.
They have the most. They should have the highest capacity server capability for cloud services, and the fact that they're only offering this amount is very concerning in terms of their sequences for MMO or like game launches via a cloud system. It's like, why are you only allotting so much space for it? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I'm curious to know if how many of those people that are actually logged in and having no issues at all. I wonder how many of those people have Luna. I wonder if that's the thing. I wonder if they're like, hey, if you have Luna, you got first dibs to get in.
I mean, that might be an interesting question to ask.
That would be giving everybody the middle finger.
That would be, but that also would be a marketing ploy. That would be like, hey.
That would be a terrible marketing ploy. Because if you're buying the game and you're basically saying, if you're buying the game and you're basically saying, well, you bought the game, I'm sorry, you didn't go through Luna. And you paid $40 for a game, like a guy, he's been in queue for 8 hours, and you played a full $40 for the game, and you don't get in because you don't have Luna?
Now hold on. In the chat, Jay Flores says, it is easy to get in if you don't have a high population server. So
I definitely agree with that because like I've been looking through here and I see a lot of stuff that's outside the zones of high populations that have like low to zero wait time. But the thing is that unless they give you the capability of changing your server location, you're able to change your own parameters to get to those servers. It doesn't do any good.
If you got a VPN, now would be the time to maybe use one. I got a VPN, I can jump to different. I have a VPN and I can jump over to maybe what is this? Oh, I can jump over to Sydney, Australia, and just use it.
Yeah, or like go to APAC over to Sydney for the Pengai Zeta servers. I agree with that. And he states in there, I've been 4 different times today. Problem is, people want to play with friends. Yeah, that's the big thing with MMOs. You want to group up with people. If your friends don't have a VPN or they can't run a VPN with their system, you're out of luck with that. Trying to get into a server with them. So the thing with that is like unless they take into account those high population areas and then boost the capacity for every one of those, I mean, I kind of agree with Nineball. I feel like this is going to kind of die off until they get that fixed. Kind of like what
Once the MMO begins dying, it's no going back.
There is. Final Fantasy 14 did it.
I was gonna
Final
say,
Fantasy is the exception to the rule.
I think Arcade kind of had that, didn't it?
Arcade.
I don't think it ever had that popularity to get. It doesn't. It didn't never had the.
It didn't have that. Well, what was the one that had to die off and then it got bought and then brought back online?
Oh, Bless.
Oh yeah. Bless
Bless is
Unleashed.
dying.
Yeah.
It's dying a second death.
That just surprises me that they only allow 2,000 cap per server. That seems kind of weird.
The reason why, and just to be clear, the reason why I had that hypothesis is because when going back to the beginning of the year when we were talking about people trying to get their PS5s, Xbox Series X's, most people that's trying to go through the website and through the link are having a hard time getting it. But for most people that I've seen, and myself included, when I've been able to get 6, 7 PS5s or everything like that this year, it's because I went through those companies' apps. So I don't think that they're necessarily promoting it that way, but I wonder if there's some sort of method to that madness. Or like, hey, we want to prioritize our apps holders first because they have the app. They're supporting our program with that. So let's go ahead and try to get.
Yeah, but if you're buying the game, you're still supporting them.
And you're buying the console regardless. You're supporting them. So I wonder if there's just something going on there to where if you have you're buying the game, but at the same time you might be able to support them even more if you buy the game and you have the app versus just buying the game. Because even GameStop did the same thing to where it's like, hey, if you're a pro member, you're invited to buy this PS5. If you're not a pro member, you can't buy it right now. They've done that.
I understand, I guess in some regards that one, but if you bought the game, you got the game.
Yeah, same difference. Is that if you buy the console, you got the console.
Luna it makes sense, but like it makes sense in the sense of like why would you do that? I think if you bought the game, you bought the game. Mm-hmm. But I can if I had to say, is there a not 0% chance that Amazon would do something like that? Yeah, there's a higher than 0% chance that Amazon of all people would be like, oh hey, by the way, we're not going to share this, but if you have Luna, we'll get you in a little bit sooner. Yeah,
and that's kind of that's why I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that's on the Again, not saying that that's exactly what it is, but I wouldn't put it. Yeah, like Gravity said, I wouldn't put past them. Jay Flory inside the chat says 2,000 people on one server is trash when people pick their servers beforehand or a couple of friends and get high population server. Yeah, I completely agree. They said that they will allow at least one server change in the next week or two, but people want to level with friends now. 1,000% server. 1,000% agree.
Flash, most of the time, like we played 14. Me and Flash.
Yeah.
We talked. We got on our server. What server you gonna be on? I'm be on this server. Yep. We both got on Gilgamesh. We got on the server. We go on that server.
Yeah.
You don't want to be on one server playing from Oregon and your friends having you Sydney's server.
Yeah,
to have a chance.
Yeah, and they allow one change over. That's even weirder. It's one changeover. You should have it set towards I log into my profile, I choose my character, and then I choose a server I go into.
Well, but here's the thing.
Locked into a server.
I will say for MMORPGs in general, I think
sounds like the start of a joke.
I think DC Universe is the. I think DC Universe is the exception here.
Into an Amazon server.
I think
60,000 waited outside.
I think DC Universe is the exception here, but most of the time, MMORPGs don't really allow, unless you have to pay X amount of money, they don't allow server changes like that. Like maybe you might be able to visit another server. But at the end of the day, for Final Fantasy 14, I could be on Gilgamesh, you could be on Exodus. I can come to your server and play with you, but there's certain stipulations to where when we're done playing, I have to go back to my server. I can't stay on that server. But at first I didn't get it, but at the same time I do get it because if one server, if there's one Twitch streamer, for example, that's super famous across the world that goes to this one server and everyone wants to game with that server, then everyone comes to that one server and breaks it. There's just you have all these other servers. So I do see that there's more of a balancing issue there. Not issue, but balancing answer there. I get that. And I think that's kind of what they're doing here, is that they're like, hey, if you just get in, if your friend's on this server and we're on here, we'll allow you to switch at one time, but we don't want to have this thing up to where you switch it back and forth so many times in the future in case it ends up breaking a server or anything like that. Because most MMORPGs don't have it to where you can switch servers like that free of charge unless you're DC Universe.
J4 in the chat says it should be done like
basically,
BDO.
that doesn't even make sense in some ways because, to be honest, I play like even on WoW. Why you don't switch servers? When I played with some of my other friends on there, you just immediately, the minute they invite you to their party, you just immediately go over to their server for a time while you're playing with them.
Do you go back to your own at the end? Like
you do. There's
okay.
also spots where, well, if you're playing PvP, sometimes there's what is known as conflict spots, and these are 3 to 4 servers meshed together in one area, where you probably will have like big PvP battles and stuff that take place over in those areas.
Okay.
But
how does Guild Wars do their servers?
I don't know about that one.
Because that one, 9ball specifically, was playing Guild Wars for a time period.
Yeah, I still play it from time to time. They don't really have servers like that. They really just have them most of the time together. Sort of like, I'm trying to think. It's sort of more like how they have like a mega. I'm thinking a mega server. Sort of like, I'm trying to think of the name of it. ESO. ESO does something similar to where you don't really like go to a server. You go to like a section, like they have North America, this state, this country, and this country, and they just assign you servers and they'll assign you like shards and stuff. They don't have it like what New World's doing or failing to do. Most of them have like they'll just assign you a server, and if your friend's playing, they'll assign you and your friend together. So it's a lot easier to get on and stuff. And they'll probably put you on like lower pop servers or something. I don't know. If all the other ones are too full, they might move you on over, son, and get them pretty much full. But I don't know what's going on in New World. Amazon.
So real fast.
I
was gonna say before we go on the harping this launch train entirely. I know we just left the station and everything already, but is there anybody in this group that is interested in playing New World, whether it's sooner or whether it's down the road?
I'll play it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I might
probably
check
about
it
a
out
year down
pending.
the road.
Okay. I'm
if it's still alive.
I know I'm normally of the bunch. I know I'm usually the one that gets the games closer to launch, if not at launch. So with that being said, Jay Floor inside the chat, whenever you get a moment, you got my number. Text me what servers you're on, so that way I just have it for the future. And yeah, hopefully by that time when I do decide to eventually get it, it will be fixed and not this whole heap of a mess.
Yeah, this whole wait time thing is just
very poor planning. Much. Yeah,
very poor planning.
Does anyone have anything about New World before we go on over to the next
he
news?
is right though. Jay Flora and you are right. They should have did it like BDO.
I think I've done a little
How
bit.
do they do theirs?
I think
better than this.
Yeah,
they have like a few servers and stuff where you can pick your server, but most of the time you design your character, then you pick your server.
Yeah, that's what I was talking before. I think that's what I played.
That's how BDO did this, because I have like on the PC I have like 3 characters, and all you gotta do is select one. You select your server, and they'll show you. I think the count. I haven't been on it a little bit, but after that you're in.
Yeah, I mean, and with your comment on that one, Malachi, like about but there's a popular Twitch streamer on this one server. I'm like, it's fine. You've got a population cap for it.
Yeah,
if the person's on there playing and they only allow 5,000 players in there, well, guess what? Those 5,000 players are the lucky ones who logged in, and you just have to sit and wait to get in. But the fact that they allow 5,000 in on that one server out of how many of them, that's the big thing, is they're allowing more in. They have the capacity to allow more in per each server slot, where Amazon's saying, nah, it's only 2,000.
So let me ask you guys this then.
Like,
what is more costly? Expanding your servers or having multiple servers with a cap?
Probably multiple servers, because that's more to deal with.
So so back to the point that Mildewy just said, that would be the reason why then they wouldn't have a cap. If it's going to be cheaper for you not to have a cap on it or something like that. You know, given the example of a famous Twitch streamer or something like that. It
would be easier to have a larger server base per each server to minimize the amount of servers you have to work with. There's downsides to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
The downside to the larger server space is when that one goes down, you then have kicked out that many amount of players.
Hold on. Nunchaha? That's the server name? Nunchaha?
Yeah, there's a server name for that. Yeah.
Interesting. All right, go ahead.
If you go to that site, yeah, it's got a list of all these server names. So,
Nunchaha.
But if you've got the smaller, you got the large one that's got the large capacity for it. If that goes down for maintenance or something, you've got that many people down and out, which is a bad thing. But normally you're able to monitor that much better and keep it, better control, because you're going to have less amount of servers that you could ping from. Now, if you have multiple servers, like a lot of servers, you've got a lot of stuff you have to watch for. You got a lot of them that you have to monitor and keep active, and to be honest, you probably have a lot more space being taken up too, with smaller servers, with more of them, because each server is kind of like its own box stack, and you've got them stacked up and all. So you're gonna have to tap into each one of them, and you're gonna have rows and rows of these.
Yeah.
So the more you've got, tends to be a lot harder to watch sometimes, and depending upon if a stack goes down, then you got the problem with that whole stack. The larger ones, you've got the same kind of a problem, but the thing is normally with the larger capacity ones, they're more sturdier with their builds and all, and they're a little bit more easier to maintain, at least I feel like. Now, I don't get too heavy into server maintenances and stuff like that, but that's just my brief knowledge on the base builds and all, is that, the smaller amount, you're going to have more of those stacks, and then, the other ones, now each stack, like each server space could have different partitions, and that could be a server of its own. I don't know their builds. Like, I don't know how they have this set up, but I just feel like having thousands of them is really, really weird. It just feels weird to me. It just feels weird. It's kind of like going on your desktop and creating like 10,000 folders for like one trip and all your photos and all. You've got them labeled by each individual person, site, location, blah blah. It's like
why are you looking at my desktop?
Well, when you show it to me as an example, I'm kidding. But yeah, it just feels weird. It just feels that weird, that type of weirdness. I thought you were gonna say something, Namball.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking about it, and we just had this problem recently on another game, and the game was Final Fantasy 14. When Asmongold switched over from WoW to Final Fantasy, it overcrowded one of the servers for a little bit, and they was having problems.
Oh, yeah, that was earlier this year.
Yeah, they had a huge problem. But what they was doing was, they was trying to lessen the balance on those things, and they handled it excellently. And they was also getting people on the AFK timers. They said if you're gonna be AFK for real long, they was putting you back out,
so that other people can get in.
Yeah. But fair? They did theirs excellently. And 14, like you brought up earlier, is one of the MMOs that survived a pretty horrendous well, let's put it, they nuked their world. That's how bad it was. They basically that's what a Realm Reborn is. They literally dropped a meteor onto their world to start over.
Yeah. That's
how can we do this in a way that will get their attention? We're gonna drop a meteor on it. Let's do it.
Yeah, they literally just
press the button.
Let's go dinosaurs on them. J Floors that says, guessing they got to worry about spawn timers as well if you have more people in one server, so more things to work with. I mean, that's true, but I mean, it's something you're gonna have to be careful with in terms of like what are you spawning. If you're talking about base minions that are out there, you're gonna have like a base spawn time menus regardless. And even in like, I feel like, and I've heard this story. Like I said, I don't play any of these MMOs at all, but I feel like I've heard like in WoW and in I'm pretty sure it happens in Final Fantasy and some other games. Like people will just farm fields. They'll just spawn farm. Just sit there and just camp out and just farm it and just spawn farm for like items, golds, or whatnot, materials just to sell for gold. So I feel like regardless of how many people are in the server, you're gonna run into spawn time problems anyways, regardless. Like, I know one time I tried playing WoW for a minute because one of my college friends tried to get me on it, and I did one, like, it was, I think, a night elf or something, and it was like there was a spider boss you had to fight, and there was like 1,000 people sitting there waiting.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'm like, that was something with the storytelling. Like, you couldn't progress until you got through it. So if all those people there are trying to get to their story point and they're all at the same time, I mean, regardless of if you had only 1,000 players or 100 players on the server, if they're all there at the same time trying to get to the boss and all,
just gotta hit it first.
You just gotta hit it first. So
if you're not first, you're last.
Oh, that's so dumb.
It's just something that happens. I feel like
I hate it. I hate that
Well,
so much.
I don't play MMOs for a lot of reasons, but main thing I hate is pay to play. But other thing is just a lot of it is very. It seems like tedious with some of these things, like just in terms of like also fighting for it. Like, because if you've got a person in there that's fighting for something and it's like, and you're trying to get the same thing and you have to wait, it's like you have to wait for the timer then. So I feel like you're going to run into these problems regardless of how many people are on or not.
I've seen this before, and I've actually seen two different ways of dealing with it. Actually, like I said, I watched like Nerd Slayer, and he talked about he did a unique one on Final Fantasy 14 called Life of a Game. Death and Life of a Game, where he talked about the death of Final Fantasy 14, and then he went into how they changed it. One of their problems was the spawn timers, because people was clearing out the things, and so the head guy apologized, and all he did was increase the spawn timers. I mean, not increase, decrease them. Yeah, so they would spawn a lot faster, and people could kill them. Another way I've seen it get done was in Guild Wars 2. To where if you helped to take down a creature,
it counts for
you.
You
also got credit.
Yep.
Yeah, because the creature spawns up to the number of people in there.
Yeah.
So if you had like 10, 20 people, it would get a lot harder. But everybody got credit for taking out a monster.
Yeah.
Okay. I can definitely see that working, and that actually is a very good point, because if you got multiple people coming in thinking it's an easy kill, but they scale it up to try and fight, then that's good. The only thing they got to make sure I'm doing is make sure that if people leave the fight, that they scale it back down. Because when I played Monster Hunter World, that was one of the problems they had at the beginning is because people would jump in, and the wyverns would level up with the people in there, but then they just drop back out. But then that wyvern doesn't descale. There was a glitch in there that I had to patch and all, but it was like people were trolling people with that for a while, and I'm like, oh, you assholes! Like, I hated it. I really hated it. And they're just like, oh, I'm just gonna drop out now. I'm like, you little.
Now, one of the things I do like that Final Fantasy 14 does have that's very similar to Guild Wars is that they have these things that's on the map called fates. And you can come in the middle of it. You can start at the very beginning, or you can be at the very end. Regardless, if you participated in that fate and you synced your level and you helped them with it, you got credit for that fate. So that was definitely something that I appreciated in Final Fantasy 14 for sure. And I wish that more MMORPGs would do something along the lines like that. I think DC Universe may have had that at one point. Maybe. I might be lying about that one. But yeah.
No clue.
Did you want to go off the horse there, Gravity, before we go on over to the next story, or did you?
We're okay riding in the wagon cart while we
I'm okay. You know what? I'm okay like riding in the wagon on this one. Like, I do plan on playing it, like New World, at some point. It's just that, like, it's just one of those launches that you're just like, I'm just gonna wait and see how this turns out, because, like, God forbid you invest all your money into buying a game that you can't really play, or you can't play like optimally, or you can't play like, you know, to the best of your ability. So I'm definitely gonna wait to see how this looks, because it looks like a really great game and a game that I would really enjoy. I just want to kind of sit this one back and like wait it out.
Heard it. Story number 3 that we have here is Battlefield 2042 Leaky Leak. So, Eddie Mackey from GameSpot says EA and DICE have officially announced the open beta dates for Battlefield 2042. As rumored, the beta officially begins on October 8th, but there's a pretty good chance that you can play it earlier. If you pre-ordered the game or are a member of EA Play, you can access it on October 6th. And anyone with Xbox Game Pass Ultimate also has EA Play. Preloading for all platforms, regardless of the pre-order status, begins October 5th. Also note that all progress from the open beta will be wiped ahead of launch, as it is normal for betas like this. Duration is between October 5th through the 10th, and I have some more dates here for you. Downloads enables for all players on October 5th. So the day before the early access window, you're able to do that. October 6th through the 9th is the early access window from 12 a.m. Pacific time and 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, that sucks. That means I'm going to be up late. Open availability is October 8th through the 9th. So that one is at 12 a.m., 3 p.m., 3 a.m. Eastern. And then it ends on October 12th, or no, October 10th, 12 a.m. Pacific, 3 a.m. sunset is what they have it listed as. So, yeah, there you have it. So if you guys are trying to get inside the beta for this, now I'm curious about this because this has not been announced. I'm wondering. Oh, wait. So they're not putting it on Game Pass. That's a fact. But I'm wondering if they're putting this on EA Play or if it's just like, hey, just so you can try out the beta, and then the game launches, you have to buy the full game, and maybe down the road it will come to EA Play. But real fast, Battlefield 2042. Does this do anything for anybody other than me?
I'm curious. I mean, to be honest, I'm glad we transferred over to this one because EA's also one that has really bad server problems on launch.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefields, I've been kicked out of quite a few matches on Battlefields.
Yep.
And they've had a sketchy past. But I am curious, and since what day was it going to be? Let me look again. So I believe I'm off that week.
Oh, it's going to be taking place from the 5th all the way until the 10th. 6th through I think 6th through the 8th, I think I said it was, is like it's early access, and you have Game Pass, so you have EA Play, which means that you have early access too.
That might mean I have to get it though through I'm gonna have to use EA Origin. You know that one app nobody believes exists anymore?
You shouldn't have to. There's an EA Play app.
It should be like an orange. Yeah, it's an orange circle at the bottom of your computer over there in the corner. Yeah, that's. It's still there. Behind you.
It says EA Desktop. That's what mine says.
Yeah, mine is over here in the corner. It's still alive. It reminds you it's there every once in a while.
Like,
I'll probably have to use that to play it. Yeah.
You just open it, like, why is my computer running so slow? Your test manager just sitting there like 9
For Gravity Mark or Mildewy Carrot, does this do anything for you guys? Are you guys interested in this? Not interested in this? Waiting to see more information about it? Waiting for it to drop? What's up?
I mean, who doesn't want to get it just for the tornado? Come on.
Yes.
I'm indifferent about it. I'm like, we'll see how it goes at launch. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fantastic at launch now because there's a huge following for that type of game.
Yeah.
But as we've seen with Warzone and all that, but it's just one of those games like, okay, cool for me, you know? So, yeah, I guess we'll just let it launch and see how it goes with launch bait, and then we'll go from there, you know?
Heard that. What about you, Gravity? More or less the same?
Yeah, I mean, like, if I had to, like, give my honest opinion in terms of, like, what I'm probably gonna do is probably not gonna play. Like, you know, like you know those times where like you just have to be honest with yourself, where like you really like you're like, man, like I kind of like really want to do this. Like, this sounds like really cool. Like, it sounds like a really great opportunity to try out a really awesome beta. But then you're just like, what's the likelihood of me following through with this? I procrastinate things so badly. And so I'm probably going to procrastinate this, and then I'm going to be like, oh, shoot, the beta was over, like, last week. Oops. So I'm probably... It doesn't really do too much for me. Like, you know, as I've said before, like, Battlefield is just kind of, like, meh for me. But I do want to, like, jump into this new game when it does come out, so that way I can play with you guys. But if you guys are all doing the beta, then I might have a reason to jump on.
Oh, I'm for sure doing the beta. It's going to be happening... is going to be happening, and we have Game Pass, so we'll be able to have the early access to it as well. So I for sure will be checking it out just to see what's like, just like I did the Halo beta.
Yeah, I still have some games I need to catch up on too. So I'm just like you got your like to-do list, and you're just like, oh, like I gotta make time for this game and this game and this game. So many different like other TV series I gotta catch up on. Like I got a list of stuff. I got a list of like really like just super lazy stuff to do. Like I wish I had a list of like productive things to do. It's just the opposite of that. I'm like, man, I gotta clear my schedule. Yeah, I'm like I gotta clear up my schedule on just like sitting down and not doing anything, even though that's what I do all the time anyway.
Amen.
Before we go on over to the next story, I do want to bring up our fantasy gaming league because I want to talk about it for a hot second. All right. So, as you guys know, I have finally been awarded some points. Thank you very much. Hold your applause till the end, please. With that being said, I'm not feeling too confident about some of the choices that I've made. So, for anyone that's currently tuning in, make sure again that you guys are checking this out on our fantasycritic.games/ if you type in ALWT game after that, you can take a look at the score and all that good stuff. If not, we talk about it almost every Tuesday. So, how it works is that it's on a 100-point scale. 70 points is the threshold. Anything that scores above 70 points on Metacritic, not Megacritic, Metacritic. Or OpenCritic, my bad, OpenCritic. Anything that goes on OpenCritic that's above 70 points gains you points. Anything below makes you lose those points. We also have things like counter picks that you can try to screw up your opponent with. You only get one counter pick to choose from. We have about 6 people that's on this competing right now with us, and the list looks as such. I, representing ALWT Gaming, have Deathloop, which got me 88 points, and then the rest of my games are pending. Which is Halo Infinite, Final Fantasy 16, Far Cry 6, Solar Ash, Call of Duty Vanguard, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, The Hinokami Chronicles, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, and I have a counter pick of God of War Ragnarok, which is confirmed not coming out this year. And that's
Majority of your games are launching in October, with one in November and one in December.
Yeah, no, I'm cutting it really close to the fire.
Yeah, next month is going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah. That's why I'm not feeling too confident.
Except for that one that's, what is this game? Final Fantasy?
Oh, Soccer TV! We're going on over to It's the 9-ball. He has Resident Evil Village, which got him 14 points. Returnal got him 16 points. The Medium got him 5 points. The Ruined King, a League of Legends story, is pending. Oddworld Soulstorm got him 1 point. Guilty Gear Strive got him 16 points. Mario Golf Super Rush got him 1 point. Life is Strange True Colors got him 11 points. I feel like that's a little low. And then he has a counter pick of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which is confirmed not coming out this year. Then, move on over to the next person. We have Carrot Patch Inc., represented by Mildewy Carrot. We have
Diablo.
He has Monster Hunter Rise, got him 18 points. Kenna Bridge of Spirits got him 12 points. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is pending. Psychonauts 2 got him 19 points. 12 Minutes got him 5 points. It Takes Two, 19 points. Diablo 2 Resurrected got him 12 points. And he has a pending game of Age of Empires 4. That's what you're talking about, the Diablo 2 Resurrected. And then he has a counterpick of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is currently pending. And by the way, I am currently in 5th place with that last rating that I just read off to you is now 3rd place, which is Zaka TV, aka It's the 9-ball. Carrot Patch is holding 1st place down. In 4th place is Fantasy Football by Silent. He has Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 not coming out. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart 18 points. New Pokemon Snap 10 points. Axiom Verge 2 8 points. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl pending. Battlefield 2042 pending. Scarlet Nexus 10 points. Metroid Dread. Oh, he picked up Metroid Dread. He picked it up. He picked it up. That's pending. And he has a counter pick of Back for Blood, which is on Ohio's list. Sitting in 2nd place is Illis B Live, who is also Illis B Live. Bravely Default 2 has 8 points. Near Replicant Version 1 point and a lot of numbers has 13 points. Little Nightmares 2, 13 points. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach pending. The Dark Pictures anthology House of Ashes, pending. Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, 11 points. Tales of Arise, 18 points. Neo, The World Ends With You, 12 points. And as a counterpick, of Final Fantasy 16, which we're going to talk about here in a minute because it's on the story. And then Ohio, who is... We're not going to name his place. But he currently has God of War Ragnarok, which is not coming out. Back for Blood, pending. Humankind, 10 points. Evil Genius 2, World Domination, 7 points. Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, negative 11 points. Biomutant, negative 3 points. Ooh, I tried to make him go even lower than he is. And then he has 2 open spots still. He has a counterpick of Halo Infinite. So there you have it. 3 points. 3 points on the money.
Now I guess what his ranking is currently.
So,
no offense to Ohio.
I wanted to throw that out there because the next story that we're talking about is the Square Enix Showcase, which is starting this Friday. I, as a Square Enix fan, am very, very excited about this, but I'm also a little crushed by this because Cameron Koch from... Oh, we share the same name. There you go, Cameron Koch. From GameSpot. Square Enix... Yeah, Cameron to Cameron. Square Enix will have a big presence at this year's all-digital Tokyo Game Show, which will include presentations for some of the publisher's most anticipated upcoming games, including Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. Kicking off Square Enix Tokyo Game Show stream will be a new look at Forspoken on October 1st, which received a new trailer as part of the recent PlayStation 5 showcase. Marvel's event Guardians of the Galaxy presentation will be streamed on Saturday, October 2nd. Square Enix single-player Marvel game is set to release October 26th. Final Fantasy spin-off Stranger of Paradise will have its own hour-long presentation as part of the show on Saturday. A limited-time PlayStation 5 exclusive demo on Dark Souls-like action title was released over the summer and saw players battling Chaos himself. Square Enix was adamant about gaining player feedback over the course of the demo period, so perhaps this new look at the game will include changes based on the player's suggestions. I want to stop the story there for a second. I did go ahead and submit my feedback, and yes, I did go ahead and beat Chaos. It was a lot of fun. Continuing on with the story. The Final Fantasy themed kart racer Chocobo GP. This is probably the game that I'm the least excited about, by the way. But anyway, which was announced in a recent Nintendo Direct, will be themed kart racer. Will be highlighted in a presentation October 3rd with Square Enix stream concluding with a look at mobile battle royale Final Fantasy VII First Soldier. Yes, let's talk about it. First announced earlier this year. You can check out the full Square Enix stream scheduled here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like Final Fantasy 16 will be appearing at the show. Producer Naiko Yoshida previously said that the game was unlikely to be in attendance, but that work on the project is going well with Final Fantasy 16's main scenario complete and English voiceovers close to completion as well. I want you to stop making that face there, Nineball. Stop making that face. It's ticking me off, alright? I don't want it. You stop it. You stop it. And he's talking about 16 sinking for my for my league. That's what he's talking about. Stop it. Any comment about the Square Enix showcase? Is anybody planning on watching it with me this Friday/Saturday? What's everyone's hype levels for that, if any?
I might see if I can catch it. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see what they'll announce. I'm not like a big Square Enix person, like as you guys are. But it's like, I mean, if they've got a good game coming out, I'll definitely check it out for sure. But I'm really not expecting like a hype level or anything. And the information about 16 doesn't surprise me. They seem to have always taken a good bit of time trying to get their games out. But from what I hear, they do a fantastic job when they do it. So, I mean, as long as they don't pull a Cyberpunk, take all the time you need, in my opinion.
And to that comment, I think it's going to be really hard for the Final Fantasy franchise to do a Cyberpunk because the Final Fantasy name has already established itself. So they already have an idea of what they want to do for each game. There has been some disappointments. There has been a couple. But for the most part, they do nail it pretty well. It's nothing that's to the point to where it's like Cyberpunk was, where they just straight up lied to the audience.
Well, it's true, but my thought is just because of the current world situation with COVID and everything,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know exactly how they're going about getting these games done and all. So I just, if they've got anything resolving with tech issues or getting information from one to the other or something like that, I'm just saying, just take your time, get it done right.
So what you're saying is, if they can't get it out by 2021, they should take their time and release Final Fantasy 16 in 2022.
Yeah, if they can't do that,
even in 2077, I'm okay with them releasing.
You're saying they should ignore Mr. You're saying they should ignore Malachi's fantasy team.
You shut your hooker mouth, okay? I am playing for my life.
You got a lot of money riding on this, and you ain't gonna make it.
It's gonna happen. I have faith. Guys. It's gonna happen. I don't have a lot of faith. I didn't say I had a lot of faith, but I have faith.
Hey, I have no doubt the game will come out. I just don't think it's gonna be this year. I'm being realistic here.
I am too. They haven't announced a delay. We still got 2 months for this game to come out. It can happen. Okay.
Malachi, that was like the Mad Dad noise you just made. That's
the voice he makes when he's trying to make an argument against his son and he can't. He's like, I can't. He's like, he has no way around.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I sadly can't be streaming it because I got my big boy jobs to do. But if I'm not too busy during my big boy jobs, I'll probably try to catch
I didn't catch it inside the story, but do we know what time it starts?
That is a good question.
That's a good question. I mean, if it's going off of Japanese time, it's probably gonna be like either stupid early in the morning, unless they're doing like UTC.
I mean, it's Tokyo Game Show, so they're probably going to prioritize them first.
Probably. Oh, well then... Well, I mean, usually Square Enix, I feel like, usually does a good job having, like, active translators there and being able to, like, translate, like, on the go. Because I think that was...
October 3rd.
October 3rd? Okay.
Is what they're saying here for it.
It's starting at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time. 12:15 p.m.
If I'm not busy at that time, then I would love to actually catch it live. But honestly, like, it's a hit or miss for me.
Oh no, never mind, wrong time.
I mean, you know what? Maybe I might be able to catch it. Who knows? Maybe I'll get some good luck. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, out of everything, the one thing that really caught my attention was the Chocobo Racer, because like I still haven't seen.
Okay.
The one that sounds really terrible, because like if it's gonna be like a go-kart kind of thing, if it's gonna be like a Mario Kart kind of thing, like I don't want to ride in a cart. Like, excuse me, like I want to ride a chocobo. If this was the game where like you could like get your own chocobo, you could like get different like breeds of chocobo, you could like style your chocobo, custom your chocobo, and then you race your chocobo, that I might be interested in. Because I want the coolest chocobo I can possibly make.
So...
But that'd be the only reason for it.
I
just want to customize the chocobo and I want to race people. Yeah, that's it.
The only way that I would get that game is literally just because I love the Final Fantasy VII. Well, the Final Fantasy universes in general, because Chocobo's in all of them. That would pretty much be the only reason why I would get that game for me. Outside of that, there's no merit for me getting it unless everyone gets on Switch and you guys start talking trash to me like, listen, Flash, I can take you on, or I'm like, listen, you guys don't got the gold chocobo, I do. All right, let me go and buy that Nintendo. That's what's gonna happen.
This doesn't seem right, but one of the things I found for it says like it's like 6 p.m. PDT, EDT is 9 p.m.
That sounds about right. I think I did see that time earlier.
It goes to like 7 a.m., 10 a.m. in the morning, though. It goes from like night to morning.
Yeah, but again, Tokyo time.
True. It says Pacific DT is 6 p.m., EDT is 9 p.m. for Thursday, September 30th.
Let's see. Tokyo
October 1st.
Why is this so confusing, Square Enix? What did you do? Why? Why did you have to make this so complicated, Square Enix? You just had to be like, we're just gonna do it on this day. We're just not gonna tell you what
they say. All right, so this is exactly how Tokyo Game Show has it. It's at 21 hours because they go military time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not at midnight.
So
It is at
9
9.
p.m. So 9 p.m. ET
Yeah.
is 10 a.m. in the morning for them.
Oh.
So 9 p.m. Eastern time, on the let's say it's 9 p.m. today,
Mm-hmm.
on currently on like say Tuesday, it would be 10 a.m. Wednesday their time.
That does kind of make some. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. So it's going to be 9 p.m. to 10 a.m. in the morning, like 9 a.m. in the morning. They got like a listing from some of the sites I found of like what's going to be talked about in each. Like it looks like it's about a couple hour segments almost, maybe, or like different broken up segments.
Yeah.
So if you're only interested in certain things, you could probably watch it. It looks like the Square Enix Presents is at 6 a.m. EDT. I don't know what's going to be at that one.
I'm definitely curious about First Soldier.
Yeah.
So
First Soldier.
I might just catch them out. I just might catch them afterwards. It's this time frame.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I did with the Nintendo Direct this past week. Like, did anybody watch the Nintendo Direct?
I watched bits and pieces. I watched bits and pieces of it, but my main thing was my main thing I wanted to know about was Sunbreaker, and they did it. I was like, yay!
That was like the only thing and then Bayonetta seemed pretty cool.
Oh, Bayonetta, I cannot wait. I gotta play the second one. The first one was fun. If you haven't played the first one, it's on Steam. I think on sale right now too, if I remember right.
Yeah, those are the only games that kind of intrigued me. Outside of that, everything else to me was just a wash.
It's only $5 on Steam right now. We just sell some Bayonetta there, people.
There you go. And I don't think I did this earlier. I know I did this earlier, but just to do it again. If you guys like energy drinks, make sure you guys go to Rep Sports, reppsports.com. Type in ALWT Gaming at checkout. Get 15% off. That is 15% sign off. You guys can get your Galaxy Starburst, your watermelon frost. That's a new one I haven't said.
Watermelon frost. That's a new one.
Your grape bubble gum. All that good stuff.
What are these flavors? What are these flavors then, Mr. Malachi?
It is inside your Raise energy drinks and sugar-free. I'm not going to mention the caffeine, but it doesn't have sugar. All right? No sugar at all. You can't beat that. Repsports.com.
No sugar? That's good for the kids, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to combine story number 5 and 6, which is just talk about the PlayStation Plus games and the Xbox Gold games. So James Carr from GameSpot had given us a list. It says October's PlayStation Plus games may have reportedly been leaked earlier. A notable leaker that revealed September's lineup early posted that October's games are free will be Hell Let Loose for PS5, Mortal Kombat 10 for PS4, and PGA Tour 2021 for PS4. So I saw the thumbnail of Hell Let Loose, but I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know exactly what that is necessarily.
It seems like a World War II style game.
It did. That's why I did kind of look at, but I have to check.
I tried checking out a trailer for it, and it seems very. I don't know if it's just battle based or if it's like.
I'm just tired of World War II stuff. Like, there's just too much.
Well,
eventually I'm just like, I get it.
Well, what may not be too much for you possibly is what's going on the Xbox side. From Eddie Mackett from GameSpot says Microsoft has announced the free games with gold titles coming to Xbox in October. There are 4 in all, and as has been in the case of recent years, this includes the Arrow, Hover, Castlevania Harmony of Despair, and Resident Evil Code Veronica X.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah. So there you have it with that one. So again, on the PlayStation side, you have Hell Let Loose, Mortal Kombat 10 for PS4, and PGA Tour 2021 for PS4. And then on the Xbox side,
PGA Tour.
On the Xbox side, you have Arrow, Hover, Castlevania, Harmony of Despair, and Resident Evil Code Veronica. I did also want to throw out here too, because this is not on the document. But I did want to go ahead and throw this story out there, just so you guys are aware that we still be talking anime offline. We still be doing our thing. And Eric Fredrickson,
we still be nerds.
Yep, Eric Fredrickson from GameSpot actually went ahead and gave us a list of animes that's coming this fall. So on Crunchyroll, you have Blade Runner: Black Lotus. You have Fena, Pirate Princess. You have Platinum N, Restaurant to Another World 2. Sakugan, High Guardian Spice, 8686, which that's actually on my queue. Muv-Love Alternate, Tact Op Destiny, The Fairway Paladin, The Fruit of Evolution Before I Knew It, My Life Had Made It, The Night Beyond the Tri-Cornered Window, The World's Finest Assassin Gets Reincarnated into Another World as an Aristocrat, World's...
those light novel titles always get me.
World's End Harem, Yashahime, the Prince...
I've heard that one's going to be pushing the boundaries for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Which one?
The World's End Harem.
World's End Harem. I've heard only from one place, but I've heard it's going to be pushing the boundaries like Redo of a Healer did. So,
like what?
Redo of a Healer?
It's going to be like some... It's gonna be some like super ecchi, like borderline, borderline. How is it on TV kind of deal? But don't look down on it. Just full warning for those
before you jump in. So a good idea not to have the kids around if you have any kids. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's a rom-com.
Yeah. Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. Boruto, Naruto, Next Generations. Case Close. Dragon Quest, The Adventures of Dai, Kyo and Kyoto from the Maiko House, Aquatopa on White Sand, The Great Jai Will Not Be Defeated, Tropical Rogue. What did you say?
Oh, I was gonna say I heard the Great Jai Will Not Be Defeated. I heard that's really good, and I've heard somebody say that they compared it to The Devil's a Part-Timer, at least in terms of like.
Oh.
Like if you like, it's on my list.
That looks like something makes my list too because I love that anime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually just went and rewatched it recently with Abs, where she was like, "How come we never watched this? This is wonderful."
Tropical Rogue, Pretty Cure. No surprise, One Piece. Ganbar Doki-chan, Tawawa on Monday, so that's all on Crunchyroll. On Funimation is The Hike Story, Selection Project, Miruko-chan, The Vampire Dies in No Time, Banished from the Heroes Party, I Decided to Live a Quiet Life on the Countryside.
There's another one.
That's another one?
These
light novel titles, it's just like the way that they translate them. Like I think in like some cases like the Japanese titles aren't even that long, but then like when you like the English ones are just like, I was doing this, but then I started to do this. So what anyway? Like,
yeah, but those ones I found have been still very good to watch. Like they've been very, very well done in terms of story. Even if it's not like an action adventure style, I still feel like they have like a pretty good story to them. Well,
I can even agree with Gravity here that I don't think those names are really that long because that is it wrong? Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? Japanese translated is Danmachi.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's just like
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm just saying it's like it's still though. It's like don't put it off just because of the long name. It's still they're still pretty good. You know. So I agree that it's hilarious though.
Don't let
what the English language does.
Don't let the long names fool you. Some of them are actually really good.
Taisho Otome, Fairy Tale, Rankings on the Kings, Rumble Grandal. This one's also gonna have a Yashahime, the Princess Half Demon. This one up mine and your alley there, Gravity. Mashuka Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Part 2.
Oh, I'm so excited!
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Part 2. Part 1 was so good.
Yeah.
And it just abruptly ended. And I think it was like supposed to, was that like technically season 1 or were they just like midway season 1? What are they calling this? Season 2? Part 2?
They're calling it 2. I think they call it Second Core is actually what it's called. Second Core.
Yeah, it ended just when it was starting to heat up too.
Yeah.
So.
That time I got reincarnated as a slime, Part 2. I think they're talking about because that one actually just ended for what I was like. I'm all the way caught up. I am all the way caught up. But it's on here. It's on here as of recently. One Piece, no surprise. Obey Me, and Scarlet Nexus. So those are your anime picks that's going to be happening this fall. And I guess technically we're in fall, so maybe that's where that time I got reincarnated as a slime kind of like fell into. And lastly, I definitely wanted to go up here, take some time, and talk about our list here, which is the backlog nightmare. All right. I'll go ahead and start it off. I'm just going to read you guys off what I have, and I definitely want to give you guys the one game that I plan on prioritizing off of this list, and then we'll talk about it. Like we'll do it monthly check-ins on that. So if you guys have your list, go ahead and pull them up. If you need to make your list, go ahead and make it. If you want to make your list later, but you have one game in mind that you want to think of, go ahead and just have that in mind. So in all the games that I say long-term, they're typically MMORPGs, so they're gonna. I'm gonna put that towards the tail end of my list, just because normally they don't have an ending to it until the developers decide to stop making content for it. So on PC, I have Blade and Soul, Arc Age. Those are both long term. Jade Empire, Star Wars Coder, Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star Online 2, which I had that on my Xbox and PC. Then on over to Switch, I have Monster Hunter Rise, Final Fantasy 9. Going over to Xbox Series X, I have Second Extinction, Origami 2, World War Z, Phantasy Star Online 2, The Ascent, Gears 5, D&D Dark Alliance, Outer Worlds.
Got D&D Dark Alliance?
Yeah, I put it on there just because that is something I haven't actually started it, but it is on. I have it downloaded on my Game Pass.
Huh.
Yeah, I didn't buy it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't. It comes with Game Pass, so I just have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And then now's the hefty of the list that I have right now. Is PS4/PS5, GTA 5. I still have yet to actually beat that story campaign for that. Kingdom Hearts 1 through 3. You guys already know where I was at with Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 14. That should be a long term, but that's actually not, because I love Final Fantasy 14. Been playing it. Want to get there through Endwalker. Genshin Impact, Anthem, Absolver, which that one I'm gonna put as that one I'm a halfway had as a backlog, and I say that because I did get to the end game content of Absolver, but they were supposed to come out with other stuff which I was waiting on, and I don't think I ever stuck around long enough for it to come out. So I'm gonna go back to it to see if it came out and try to get through that. If it doesn't come out by the end of this year or has come out, I'm just saying that I completed the game. Black Desert, long term. Code Vein, Fury, Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island, Hitman 1 and 2, Horizon DLC, Jump Force. I am wanting to complete this storyline on that. Even though it may not be good, I want to do it. Monster Hunter World, Metal Gear 5, Remnant from the Ashes.
Good luck, Metal Gear 5.
Shadow of Colossus, Strider, SAO Fatal Bullet, The Crew, Elder Scrolls Online Long Term, The Last of Us Part 2, Wildlands, Transistor, BioShock Infinite, Bloodborne, Bless Unleashed, Borderlands 2 through 3, Days Gone, Dishonored 1 and 2, Dissidia NT, Dynasty Warriors 9, Far Cry 5, Final Fantasy 15 DLC, For Honor, It Takes Two, Kingdom Come Deliverance, Life is Strange 2, Neo 1 and 2, Outriders, Godfall, Persona 5, Terra, Watch Dogs Legions, Cyberpunk 2077, Assassin's Creed Origins, The Division 2, and I don't know why this wasn't on my list here, but it is on my list, and that is Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch.
I thought it was a couple games.
Yeah, no. I was giving you guys I was giving you my list. So now,
okay.
Yeah, I was just giving you my list. So now I'm just going to choose one game.
That's about what I expect in terms of what he's got.
So now after I did this, now I just want to focus on one game to get through, and I'm actually going to shake it up a little bit. I want that game for me to get through, and I'm gonna need whoever has Game Pass or has this on PC or Xbox to get it whenever you guys get a moment to. You know what? I'm going to choose two. I'm going to choose one for multiplayer and one for single player. The multiplayer one is Gears 5. I want to beat Gears 5. So if anyone gets that, fantastic. I would love to go ahead and beat that game with you guys. My single player one that I'm going to focus on is going to be Final Fantasy 9. So those are
Doesn't surprise me.
That's what I'm going to do. Is Final Fantasy 9 and of course Gears 5 for whenever someone has it or has the time to jump on and get through the campaign on that one with me. And that one is 3-player. Unfortunately, it's not 4, as we found out from one of our 9 to 5s, but it is 3-player. Who wants to go next with their backlog nightmare list?
I'll go.
All right.
So I've got the Batman games back on Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Mirror's Edge 1 and 2. I've got God of War. I've got Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Die Young, The Long Dark, Pray for the Gods, and Atomic Crops. The one I'm definitely going to try and beat is Die Young.
Okay.
And that's on PC. At least why I have it on.
Is The Long Dark multiplayer?
I don't think so. It's more of a survival-based game. The single-based survival game, if I remember right. I'm going to it right now. I'm trying to remember what they said for it. It's single player, yeah. It's a single player survival game, so it does have a story mode to it where you're trying to go through and survival, trying to find someone in a mystery that's what's going on. Or there's like just an extra mode where you can just survive. See how long you can survive for.
Okay, because I was about to say if it did have multiplayer, I would jump on that with you. And help you get through that backlog.
It's only single player. I will say this on Steam, it is very positive reviews. It's got over 71,000 reviews, and it's a very positive. So It's a very fun game.
I think it's on Game Pass right now, which is why I was offering that, because I think I may well get it right now. So.
Yep.
All right, who wants to go next?
Well, I'll go next. I'm not going to name off. I actually been putting stuff in folders. I was supposed to be trying to finish them. I have a favorites and an active folder.
Okay.
So, in my current favorites folder, I have the Angry Video Game Nerd Adventure, Angry Video Game Nerd 2 Assimilation, Anna, Battletech, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, The Cat Lady, Claire, Death Stranding, Everreach, Project Eden. I already beat Fallout 4. I already beat that one. The Last Remnant, Life is Strange, Obscure, Only If, Pamela, Perception, Resident Evil 7, Space Haven, Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines, White Day, a Labyrinth Named School, The Witcher, The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings, The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt. I also have Battlefield Gothic, Armada 2, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, Mafia 3, Metro Last Light, and the new Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 2, Shadow Man Remastered, Space Hulk Deathwing Enhanced Edition, Resident Evil 7, and Tales of Hysteria. Well,
so that's almost the same as you, Malachi.
Yeah, these are my favorites because I'm not even going to mention the rest of them. It's well over, like I said, I've got well over 1,000 games. It's ridiculous.
Theme, Humble Bumble there, folks.
Yeah.
Free games and all that. He gets them all.
I picked up like every Tomb Raider one day. They had it for $10, so I just picked them all up. They had like huge Steam sales on bundles, and I was just picking them up left and right. I want to do, actually, because I want to play Tales of Arise, but I want to finish up my Tales. I'm going to do Tales of Hysteria. since I did Tales of Berseria and I got Tales of Symphonia on here, I gotta eventually go face and do.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that one, and I'm gonna do that one in Bloodstained Symphony of the Night. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. They're both gonna be pretty long, so I'm probably gonna do Tales first. Tales of Hysteria, because I'm more familiar with that one.
Okay.
I think on consoles, I usually pick a console game. I'm gonna do Final Fantasy VII Remastered. Will be the one I'm gonna finish up.
The remake.
Yes, the remake.
Because there is a remastered one.
Yeah, I have Final Fantasy VII Remastered on my list too on favorites. But yeah, I got Devour already. I bought that. It's there.
And
yeah, it's a game that Malachi will never play.
I will be joining you, but I will be joining you in Final. Wait a minute, let me get this done first. I'll help you do Gears of War. I think I still got to download. I never. How long it took me to download that game? It's about 115 gigs. I just left it. I didn't feel like going through that. I want to finish it up eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So just give me a holler one day, and yeah, I'll help you finish it.
I'm down, man. I'm down. I think the last area that we left off at, I think it was us three. That's me.
We was fighting that
the big guy. With the ice. It was me, you, and I think it was Mildewy. I don't think it was Gravity, because I think Gravity took the first shift because you had to work. And then so it was us three, and we were fighting that big Yeti that kept on attacking and charging at us and stuff, everything like that. Yeah, it was crazy. So, but yeah, that's where we're at right now, currently. So, on over to you, Gravity.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was about to skip Gravity there.
Oh no, yeah. Go on over to you, Gravity. What is your list looking like?
Jeez, I went ahead and I looked through my entire libraries for both main consoles that I use. I've suspended my Game Pass subscription for the time being, and which, if I didn't, this list would be so much longer. But starting with the PS4, I want to actually get back, and this is a game that's it's still kind of going on, but I actually want to go back and actually finish Genshin Impact.
Mm-hmm.
I started it, I got to a certain part and I was like, okay, this is whatever. I put it down for a bit, picked it back up recently, and I was like, oh, this isn't actually that bad. It's actually kind of fun, it's a little engaging. And so I do want to put a little bit more time into it, and I would like to finish it, but I also know that they're constantly adding stuff to it. So that'd be nice, but my goal is to not put any money into it, because I don't want to pay for any pulls here. Another one is the first Neo, where I started that one, and then I think Malachi, you and I were gonna do the first Neo, and then our schedule just never lined up, and so I started to play it, where I was like, oh, you get to that island part, and you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they smacked me down. I died so many times just in that first part, and I'm like, I think I need a second player for this. I don't think I can do this by myself. So at some point, I'd like to finish that. Another one is Temtem. I got that
that too.
I got that one a little while ago. I played it for maybe a couple weeks, and then I just put it down. I think it just wasn't really scratching the itch that I wanted it to, but I mean, I would love to finish it. Next one is this one I'd have to really push through, but Biomutant.
Okay.
I was wanting this game so bad. This game looked like it was going to be so much fun. And to be fair, a good chunk of it is. They've had some updates come out for it, so I'm sure it fixed some stuff. But it was also just one of those games where because it's this big open world, there's a lot for me to do, and I'm just I don't want to have to get sidetracked. It's going to be one of those games that I'm going to have to schedule time for, just to make sure I'm able to play enough of it. Shadow of the Colossus, that's one of my on again off again love affairs. I'll play Shadow of the Colossus, I'll take down one Colossus and then be like, nah, I'll come back next time. Like, and it's not even that it's a bad game. It's just that like I just don't have time, or I just get sidetracked, or I just want to play something different. And it's just one of those games that I've had for so many years that I'm really wanting to like actually finish. All of the Uncharted collection. I have the first four Uncharted. I've I've all like back on the PlayStation 3 days. I've beaten the third and the second and the third game. I've played and beaten the second and the third. I haven't played the first, and I haven't played the fourth. So I need to finish the first game, and then I was gonna replay the second and the third, and then finally play the fourth. So I need to also make time for that. Another one, Dragon Quest 11 is also one I keep playing for a bit, having a lot of fun with it, getting burned out, and then like leaving it alone for several months at a time, and then I'll come back to it and be like, oh, this is really fun. Why did I ever stop playing? And then I'll get burned out, and then I'll just come back to it later. It's like, yeah, Dragon Quest 11 is really fun. Another one. It's another one of my on again, off again relationships here. Dark Cloud 1 and 2. I have had, like, I don't know about you guys. I had Dark Cloud for the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin beat that game over and over and over. He replayed the heck out of that game. I never finished it. I never beat it. And to this day, I still haven't beaten it. And the main reason at this point is because I got stuck on a puzzle, finally solved the puzzle, and then it unlocks like a boss fight, and then I forgot how to play, and then this boss is like really annoying. And like it will freeze me, and it will just like two-shot me, and I'm just like, what is this? Like, I'm gonna have to come back and like spend some time to relearn how to play, to like dodge everything and like really take advantage of that. But I have the first two games. I have both Dark Cloud 1 and Dark Cloud 2, and I can't get to Dark Cloud 2 until I get to Dark Cloud 1, and it's a mess. It's a mess. Also, The Last of Us Part 1 and 2. I still haven't played the first Last of Us. Sue me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's just like, honestly, like if I had to be very, very honest, like every time people have talked about The Last of Us, like it looks pretty, but like if I have to like say like, is there, I don't get a visceral reaction when I see it or like when I hear of it. And so it's just not something that's like really been like, you need to play this, like you need to stop what you're doing and you need to play this game. It's just like, I know it's good, I know like eventually I'll get to it. If anything, like it's like a nice little rainy day kind of game where like if you're completely out of everything and you need a good game to go to, there we go, I'll just go to that. I also need to get to the Ghost of Tsushima Iki Island DLC, as well as the Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC. I haven't played either of those DLCs yet. I've already played through all of the base game of Final Fantasy VII Remake and enjoyed the heck out of it. I still have not played the extra DLC to that just yet, so I hope to get to that soon. And then Monster Hunter World. It's a game that I've had for Mildewy Carrot knows how long I've had this game for too long, and then I'm just like, yeah, like I'll get to it, and like I actually really like Monster Hunter. It's just that like when you play Monster Hunter, like you gotta like invest some brain cells into it. And at those times, like I was just like, oh, I don't want to invest the brain cells into this, because I know as soon as I start to invest the brain cells into it, I'm gonna get really into it, and I'm gonna start pulling up charts. There's gonna be like 5 to 6 different tabs open on my browser, like looking up different stats, looking up different builds, looking up like different like item locations. Like I'm gonna get super absorbed into it. And so it's just one of those times where I'm like, I need to schedule some time to like actually get back into it. Because I still need to do like I feel like I've done most of the campaign for that, but I don't think I ever finished it. So I need to do that, and then I need to do what came after that?
It's Iceborne.
Iceborne. Yeah, I need to finish the base game of that Iceborne.
Well, if you ever get back on there, give me a shout out. I can either join you again, or I can pull out my my in game and run through and start slapping stuff. So.
And then the Switch, this one's a lot shorter. For the Switch, I would like to get back to Greece or Gris. I don't know how to pronounce it. I just got this game just this past week. A coworker of mine recommended it to me, and it was like just by the trailer alone, it looks really good. Like it's kind of like a side scroller platformer, but the art style is all kind of like this like sketchy art style, like where everything looks like a drawing.
Hmm.
And it's I think it's based on like the 7 stages of grief. And so like it's this very artistic side scroller platformer. And the music is it's very captivating in the sense that they they don't go too heavy in the music, but like it's always just kind of like silently there in the background. It kind of I hate to compare it to this because it's honestly the only thing I can think of, but kind of like how Minecraft music is always just kind of there in the background, just kind of like gently there, where you don't always hear it. It creates like an ambiance, if anything, but it is really fun, and I do need to finish it. I also need to finish Link's Awakening. I'm like almost done. I'm almost done with that game, so super close to the end. Same with the first Hyrule Warriors. I also got that game a while ago, near close to the end. Just still haven't beaten it. Also the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC. I have first one. I just don't have the second DLC just yet. And it's just been a matter of actually wanting to jump back into Sword and Shield, and I'm just like, ugh. Like Sword and Shield left a really bad taste in my mouth, and so I'm just like, I would like to get to the DLC, but at the same time, I'm also just like, I can maybe take it or leave it. This one I need to actually get, but I do need to get Monster Hunter Rise because that is a game that I do want to get. And then last, rounding out the list is Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2. Yeah, it's 1 and 2. So I have the first one on my 3DS, and I still need to finish that one. And that it's actually really fun. Like it's actually a really good 3DS game. So I need to finish that one, and then I'll jump to the one on the Switch.
So, of those games that's on your list, which is the one that you want to dedicate your time to try to beat?
Probably Link's Awakening. I think that's probably the easiest to jump back into, and I'm also like the farthest along in it. Okay. So I should easily be able to get through Link's Awakening, like within maybe a week or so, I think.
All right. So whatever you guys got to do, lock them in, highlight them, whatever you guys got to do, because on October 26th, that's at the last Tuesday of October, we're going to see our progress, see where we're at, see how it feels. Huh?
I'm going to be
not even touched.
Be sending an extension email. Dear Professor Malachi, my goldfish died. I'm gonna need an extension on that paper.
And my dog ate my homework, which is why.
You know what? My dog has actually eaten my homework before, sir. How dare you? Know how awkward it is to have to explain to your teacher that your dog actually ate your homework, where you have to like actually bring in the evidence to be like, yeah, no, the folder's destroyed, and they're like, oh my gosh, these are like teeth marks. I'm like, yeah, they actually ate it. Like
my dog is a monster. I swear to God.
Well, there you guys have it. That wraps up our episode 66 of ALWT Things Gaming, which I believe is episode 52 on Anchor. Taking a look right now. Yeah. Got to make sure I'm accurate for the Anchor crowd and for the 52. Ha! Got it. 52 on Anchor. So there are 14 episode labels behind. And again, gotta give a shout out to everybody that's been following us on Anchor. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. 96% of our listeners are in the United States, 2% from Germany, 1% from Ireland, Singapore, United Kingdom, Brazil, and of course our homie in Denmark, Eskil. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Make sure you guys are following us on social media platforms such as Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Pretty much almost anything. Just type in ALWT Gaming if we have a platform there. You guys should be able to find us there. On YouTube, you might have to type in At Least We Tried Gaming, because at least we tried. If you guys missed this content, or if you just want to go to one area that has all the stuff in one central location, go to our website, www.alwtgaming.com, and you'll be able to see our stuff there. We also have merchandise there. If you guys want to go to the About Us section, Click on the merchandise tab. It'll take you on over to like a little page. You can get yourself a shirt, a hoodie, a little mug, or yourself a COVID mask. We will be doing Smite Night this coming Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until 10 p.m., where we're just going to be yelling at high res how broken their gods are. And then, of course, next week is Friday is actually a new month. So we'll be on the lookout for any potential streams that we decide to do live regarding the TGS, which is the Tokyo Game Awards. We might be doing some. We might be doing a couple. We might be doing one. We might be doing none. So just be on the lookout for all of that on our social media platforms. Next month, we are going to be selecting a certain Saturday to do our 9 to 5 segment. So be on the lookout for that too as well. But like I said earlier, if you go to www.alwtgaming.com, we have a schedule that is up. So you guys can actually see when we're streaming, what we're streaming, and how we're streaming. Until next time, everybody, Control, Alt,
Complete.
Complete.
Peace, love, and hair grease.
Except for that.